All right. Good morning, everyone. Michael and Rob here at Lake Michigan Angler. Welcome back to another week of our fishing report. And today's going to be I think, a banger of a live stream here. We've got a full house back at our back room. We've got Captain Caleb here today doing his seminar. A lot of people here, so that's really cool. And of course, we're doing our weekly live here to get you caught up on, everything that's going on here at the shop. We'll talk about the latest fishing report, and then, man, we have a lot of cool stuff to share with you in terms of new lure colors, and then we'll also talk about the Mr. Chrome line of lures. And for those that are looking to get into that and add that to their arsenal, because we did get fully stocked with their stuff. Dreamweaver came in, so let's kind of get into just what came in the last week at the shop, bro.
Yeah, so actually last week when we were live, we had just gotten the Mr. Chrome order in, so we didn't have them really available to purchase at that point, but now they're here. So we got the little minis here for.
I was gonna say we're gonna save those for the end.
We're saving these for the end.
Yeah. So, but we got Mr. Chrome in.
Yeah.
Dreamweaver came in. So we got Spin Doctors. Those are the two biggest ones that came in. More Rods and Reels came in. What else came in? More Moon Masters came in. We're loaded up on peanut flies. So yeah, we're looking pretty good here. I know the biggest question is, where are the stubbies?
Yeah, stubbies on their way. They're in transit. We have 2,000 on the way. Some new colors that actually we got to see some of them.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we did.
Which is part of the delay in the order here is those new ones. But and we had a really good podcast on Tuesday.
Yes. So we sat down with the current owner, Kelly, of Silver Horde. Was it Silver Horde? Gold Star.
Yep.
And man, when I tell you guys, I'm excited for you guys to check out that episode. He has so much knowledge and history and like how these things kind of started from the plugs to me and Rob were both like wow, it's really cool. So we'll
spent his entire life just making salmon gear,
salmon lures, on the West Coast, which we've adopted here. And so he shares a lot of that history with us, and I think that's going to be really cool. I think you guys will be excited about that. And during that interview on the podcast, he showed us some of the new colors, and really exciting stuff. And when we release that video, you guys will see it too. You'll see the new stuff, and we're going to try to time it so that when the shipment comes in, we'll release it, and that way they'll be available for you guys to get. So that's really cool. Let's talk about fishing. I know the weather's been, we kind of got a little warm streak here. So what's the ice looking like? What's the current fishing?
Well, we had ice it's still there. I'm still hearing 9 inches or so in a lot of the inland lakes, but shorelines are definitely eroding, so you got to be pretty careful. I know a lot of guys are just calling it quits at this point, and I don't blame them. But there is still a little bit of ice. Personally, I'm calling it quits on the ice. That being said, open water opportunities are starting. Harbors still have ice, but this week I had reports of cohos being caught from shore in Waukegan and Kenosha.
Whoa!
So
there you go, boys.
Yeah,
there you
spin
go.
Tackle out there, get your kayaks out there. Kenosha, you're still not going to be launching a boat anytime soon. It's going to be a week and a half to 2 weeks, I think, before you could get a boat into Kenosha. Racine, they were launching boats this week. So I didn't get fishing reports from them. I know that there had been some fish caught up in Oak Creek Power Plant, so I'm sure some of those boats were launching Racine heading up north there.
I saw some folks took their little boat, carried it over the ice out of Bender, went over, so I saw that too.
Yep, so we know there's fish there, so that's another option. There was still a little bit of ice at North Point the other day, but either way the cars are all parked in there, but it shouldn't be long before you should be able to launch at North Point if you want.
Yeah. Really exciting. We're getting close there for those of us open water guys to get out there. But, those pierheads, the pierheads is open water already. So
yeah, pierheads are open. And upper stretches, I drive over Pike Creek every day. That's opening up. They were getting fish at the mouth. They were getting some pretty nice steelhead off the beach there earlier in the week. And upstream on the Root, in Island Park in that area, they were getting some fish too. Yeah. So a bunch of opportunities.
Yep, great time for shore guys. Get out there with spinning rod, grab a couple cranks, couple spoons, start casting around. You'll get in some fish, and if you need anything, of course, we've got it. Good morning to everybody checking in. If you're here, hello. Dave checking in from Southwest Michigan. Good to see you back here, David. Welcome, Jason. Hello. David asked one question: Do you guys still have the kayak nets for Lake Michigan for salmon?
Yeah, I think there's 2 or 3 right now, and then there's a bunch more coming.
Yeah, we're the only ones that have this net. It was custom done job Rob had for kayak guys, and so and the thing is, unfortunately, we don't ship those because they're
I don't ship nets, so they're only available in the shop.
Good morning, Tim. Sunshine Studios, welcome back. Fisher Finley, good morning. Quartz, hello. Ben, good morning from Chicago. Jay said, time to get the boats ready. Absolutely.
Yep.
Get them ready, man. Let's see here. I'm ready to get the boat out and on the lakes. I think we all are too, Toad. And by the way, guys, at any point, if you have any questions, doesn't matter, how basic you may think it is, feel free to ask away. We'll answer them. We're here to try and be a resource for you. Whether you're new to this or you're an experienced angler, feel free to ask questions. It does not hurt, and we're happy to answer them. So that's the latest with the fishing report. And again, I don't even know what the outlook for the weather is coming the next week. If we're going to kind of have more of the same or what.
I know there's going to be some rain later in the week from what somebody told me. I think temperatures are up and down, but I don't even. Yeah. I kind of skimmed the forecast.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, we're at the beginning of March. March is typically when I start fishing, and we'll just see when we get some of this enough warm up to break up that ice.
It's March, so Steelhead should be in full swing in the rivers as soon as we get a little runoff. And they open it up, but just enough. It's going to be full swing fishing there.
That's awesome. So. That's really awesome. Good morning to everybody else that's coming in here. Don't be shy. If it's your first time here, feel free to say hello. We're very welcoming here. Let me see what happened here. Let's see here. Goons, welcome. Sorry about the bot. The bot did a little. I got to turn that bot. It was a little too sensitive. All right. John said, good morning. Went fishing at Michigan City from shore Wednesday. Saw one coho caught over about 4 hours of fishing. Ice was just past the old lighthouse on Trail Creek. Very dirty water. Okay. Thank you for sharing that, John. It's also really cool to hear reports from, down at the bottom end or even on the corner by Michigan in those areas too. So thank you for sharing that. And you need some of that clear water probably help out. All right, so let's kind of get into the meat and potatoes of today's live. We mentioned we got some new Dreamweaver stuff in here. We've got a variety of other colors, but one thing that's really cool for this year is they've introduced some new colors and some new colors on some different size blades. So let's start off with some of the 8 inches, Rob.
We got Magic Mike right here.
Not related to me. That's not my. You try to name me this, but you've got the UV tape with the purple dots on this one, on the front and the back. That's pretty cool.
Yep.
All right.
Blue Slice.
Now, I am a big fan of the Dreamweaver Super Slims, the Blue Slice, Green Slice, Orange Slice. They perform really well. So I'm really happy, and it's really cool they brought it to their flasher. Really good. It worked in the spoon. I don't see why it won't work on the blades as well.
Oh, it's definitely going to be a good one.
Yeah, I really like this a lot.
Yeah, and then this one right here, the Orange Slice.
Oh, and this glows right here. The strip glows too.
Yep. The Orange Slice, that's going to be a killer for sure.
Now,
they didn't send us the Green Slice yet, but we'll have that soon.
Now pass me that one, Rob, because the reason why I'm excited about this one is this one that we had, this is our custom one that we had last year, and this is the non-UV, but the UV version. This guy absolutely smoked last year, didn't it, Rob? We were killing him on this guy. So this Orange Slice, I mean, come on, it's practically in the same wheelhouse.
Yep. Really
excited to go. I'm going to run this one right away in the spring. I'm not going to shy away from running an 8-inch blade. We had some of the bigger coho. We're taking down 4-inch flies and 8-inch blades in the spring period too. So that's a new color for this year for Salmon Candy. And the last but not least we have here
Dreamweaver.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Yep.
Dyslexic over here. Dreamweaver. What's this one called?
That one is the Wonder Veggie.
Okay.
So that's another,
And the whole blade glows, right?
I believe so. It looks.
Yeah, it glows. Yep. It's a glow blade with the mixed veggies kind of look on top of that one. So those are a couple of the new colors that we have available now that Dreamweaver's released for 2025.
Yeah, and then we got the baby spin doctors, some new baby spin doctors.
And now this is really cool because they're typically we've always had the standard like coho color ones for these baby spin doctors, but now they're bringing some of their king colors, or I'd say their other salmon colors here. Kevin's girlfriend we have here in a little baby spin doctor. We've got which one's this one called? This is Black Dot Crush.
Yep.
Almost like a cow color thing right there.
Got this double chrome.
Double chrome. I can see guys. Here's what I'll say about these guys, Rob. Tell me what you think. I really think that these guys are going to be great for summertime, even. You know, like throwing in like a
and I can see
long
some
line.
early season kings going after these.
Yeah, I think so too. I think this would be really interesting to throw out there early and even fish middle and late in the season where you want a more subtle profile compared to a big blade. You throw out a little guy on a 200 or 300 copper, perhaps a little white cut fly on this guy right here, this little baby one. Might smoke them.
Yep.
What else do we have here in the little baby spin?
We got the white, you know, with the pearl, double pearl, and then the
double crush.
Yep.
Yeah, this is easily, these two are some of my favorites in the 8-inch. When guys come in here looking for a blade, this is one of the ones I suggest in the 8-inch. So seeing it in the little 6-inch baby spin doctor, same thing. Summertime, they might want a little something more subtle, little 6-inch.
Yeah,
right
and
there.
then this isn't a new one, but I just wanted to let everyone know we got the UV Coho cracker in, so that's always the best seller.
Yep. So we got that as well. So that's really cool to see Dreamweaver mixing it up with some of these colors and stuff like that. And then, so they are all available right now on the website. Come on in and check them out for yourselves. It's gonna be really cool. Before we get into the Mr. Chrome stuff, I do want to mention that we do have more of the new Moonshine Moon Masters.
We got restocked on those.
Yeah, these
They've
actually
been
been
pretty good.
They've been selling pretty good, yeah. And the thing is like quite honestly, we don't know how they fished this yet. They released it at the end of last year, kind of.
Yeah.
So we didn't have a chance to test them, but I guess we're all going to figure it out real soon. But we do have these stocked up in both the standard and the mag sizes. And essentially what this is, it's going to be hard to see on the video here, but it's got a little bit of a bend at that tail end, similar to like a Castmaster. And what it's supposed to do is give a far more erratic darting action to the spoon versus like the wobble, which is meant to like trigger that instinctive feeding thing. So that's the kind of difference in the action with these guys. So we'll see how they turn out for us this year.
Yep.
Now, let's get into Mr. Chrome. We had a big shipment come back in here. We have more stuff coming in from them. What we wanted to kind of do with this segment of the live, and if any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat. Mr. Chrome brand, we started carrying it last year, and it performed very well for everyone that tried it. And for us personally, for folks we sold it to, it performed, caught a lot of fish. And so we want to kind of give you guys a little bit of an introduction for those that are not familiar with the brand that might want to consider adding some of their products to your arsenal. We kind of want to share with you what some of our favorite, like think of this as like the LMA picks. And while all of this stuff is great, if you were to pick a handful of their lures to test out this year, we'd probably steer you in this direction to grab these to start there and then expand as you go along. So let's start with spoons here. We've got these two. I would say, Rob, these two are probably like the great all-around will catch all species in the water, and that's the two frogs. So you got the fin frog and the dart frog, and which is basically a green version and a blue version. You can look at them and just tell they're fish catching, but they catch all species from Lakers to kings to coho, steelhead. If they're out there, these two colors will catch them all, and we really like that one.
Yep. This one, McLovin there, that's my favorite. That's my Rob's pick right there. That's
and this one really picked up towards like end of July into August. This spoon, we started hearing people talking about the McLovin. We were sold out of them. We couldn't keep them in stock. So I think something about that spoon really picked up in that time of year.
Yep, we got the Paradise Pineapple.
This is one of my favorites for the spring. For the spring, I put this guy in the 2-color, 3-color, especially when the salmon, when the coho start dropping down to that 15-foot range. This guy was smoking them, and I was catching Lakers on this guy too, trolling the back, even though I was trying to target coho in the early spring. I really like this one. This is also one of their favorites for steelhead. So, if you're out deep in the summertime, put this out there on a long line, and it'll do well for steelhead as well.
And then we've got the Letner Rip and Aurora.
Yes.
These are both really good sellers.
Yes, these are really good sellers, and more specifically, these are more king-oriented. My personal favorite out of these two was the Aurora. It really stood out for us. We took this out on the 300, 400 copper. It consistently was catching kings. So this became one of my favorites, personal favorites out of the Mr. Chrome. I also ran the Littner Rip, and it also took some kings and stuff like that. So these two, if I'm doing king fishing, I'm reaching into the box or one of these two, throwing it out there.
Yeah, that Letner Rip was really good out of Waukegan last year.
Yeah, and it's really popular in the Michigan side. They really like this Littner Rip. For me, though, the Aurora really stood out and was taking a lot of kings there. And again, these are like some of the standards. We got them in the mag sizes. I mixed and matched and whatnot. Now, if you're getting into their blades, they got some really good flashers, and just a couple they wanted to share with you that are some real good ones.
This is Hailstorm. This one was the best seller last year.
Yeah.
And it's just got every color to catch a fish. You can't really go wrong with it.
This is easily, I think, is going to be a staple in the years to come. This colorway, you can see the pattern in the front. On the back, it's just got like that UV tape on the back. I ran this guy with green crinkle. I ran it with double aqua and smoked coho. In case you take the kings, but for me, it seemed to get a lot more coho. But it was catching fish consistently. Yep. Really like that one.
Another one, old money, great for kings and cohos. A little more flash to it. A lot of chartreuse and green. All the again colors that work, and then pearl glow on the back. It's just got all the regular colors that work.
Yeah, and I also saw guys when I was on the Michigan side, they were running meat on this guy too, and it was taking kings too. So I think there's a lot of versatility, whether you run a fly or even put a little meat rig behind it. This guy was doing really well for that too.
Yeah, and then here's the new one. This was requested quite a bit last year, so he came out with the McLovin Flasher.
I know Rob's happy about that one too.
That was the one I wanted the most right there. That's
Yep. So you got the front, just like the spoon, and then the back you've got like this, like a prism kind of a tape on that backside. I love white blades. I've said this before. Rob knows this. If I had to choose between a chrome or a white blade, I will almost always go with a white first. And so I agree with you, Rob. I think that one's going to do really well, really well, especially in the summer months when we start like really king fishing. Put a whatever fly, a bullfrog, a green crinkle, hell, you could do a white fly behind that.
Yep.
And I think that's going to do well. Now for the springtime, don't underestimate these little guys. We tried them last year. I had phenomenal success with these guys, and some days they outfished my stubbies, to be honest with you. And these little 6-inch mini flashers. These worked great. The ones I use, let's see, the one in the middle is brand new for this year. This is a new one.
Yep.
I fished both of these guys on the sides. They worked great. I ran 2-inch flies behind them. I didn't run peanuts, and had a great time with them, man. I fished them down in Chicago early in the season. Came back up here and fished with them guys. And so, if you're looking to kind of add something different to your mix, and I think that's really the great thing about a lot of what we shared here is a lot of this stuff is very unique in terms of the colors that you don't see across other brands. I think that's what makes it stick out, and I think that's what makes it worthwhile by investing into it, because you're not going to have that's a unique look that no one else has. So it can offer you something a little bit different out there. Let's see. If you have any questions, feel free to drop it in there. Good morning, Angelina. Let's see. Pawn said, hey, what's up, guys? Good morning. I'm going shoreline fishing today and was wondering if shrimp is a good bait for coho.
Yeah. I mean, shrimp catches everything.
Cooked shrimp.
Yeah.
Cooked shrimp seems to be a better than the raw.
Yep. I mean, they'll both work, but yeah, the cohos tend to like that cooked shrimp. Whether you're using a whole piece of shrimp, like on a hook, or a lot of times this time of year, guys are just using a little small piece of shrimp on a jig, like a tinsel jig or a tube jig under a bobber. That's a really good way to fish it. Yeah. But shrimp's always a good choice.
Yeah, that scent.
Anytime you're fishing around the shoreline, from shore, in harbors, shrimp is a good choice.
Yep.
Now, we do have spawn sacks. If you need, we have pretty good, like really good brown trout egg spawn sacks right now. So if you want an alternative to your shrimp, we've got that in stock at the moment. Pretty good supply.
Yeah. Ben asks, where is a safe place to launch a kayak with ice in the harbors around Waukegan or North Point?
Waukegan, you're kind of stuck waiting for the boat launch.
Yeah, it's because you have that long channel. There's no other way to get to it. Now, the other, for the kayak guys, the way to get around this is beach launch. That's the only way you can get on the water right now is beach launch. Now, if you're in the Chicago area and the Chicago Park District beachfront, you can launch from anywhere on those beaches when we're out of the season. So when the beaches aren't open yet, you can launch anywhere. When the season's open and the beaches are open to the public, there's designated lanes where you can only launch from. So keep that in mind.
You should be able to launch a kayak in North Point right now.
Yeah, if you're in North Point,
I mean, there was some ice, but it was open as well. It should be launchable for a kayak at the moment.
Yeah, and if not, park. If you're car topping, you got to drag your stuff through the sand, which I think that sucks, but you can go right to the beach and launch right there on the beach.
And that's not, I mean, I've done it a couple times. I'd rather use the boat launch, but that beach isn't the worst to beach launch.
Yeah, it's not, right.
Especially if you have wheels. So.
Right, exactly. I think that's going to be your best bet. Let's see here. David asked, when you guys set up in the spring near shore, what are you looking on the graph? Do you go where you have been reports to set up, or wait for fish to be called in, or wait until you see bait? You want to answer that first, Rob?
Well, yeah. So first, like if I haven't had any fishing reports, I'm gonna go out. I'm probably gonna start in like 10, 15 feet of water. I'm gonna zigzag around. I'm gonna look for bait. I'm gonna look for water temperatures, stuff like that. Usually, if you find a little bit warmer water, you're gonna find some bait. You're gonna find some, this early, it's probably gonna be more brown trout, depending on where you're at. So I kind of look for that. Running some gold spoons and some stick baits. Hey, what's going on, man? So that's what I look for. If I don't find anything in that 15, I'll start pushing out to 20, 25. And I'm just trying to cover water until I find fish. And then, of course, if I start marking a bunch of bait, I'm going to start circling around in there a little bit and see what's around. Because if you find bait this time of year, you should find some fish for sure, whether it's cohos or brown trout.
Yep. Yeah, I'm echoing what Rob said. Keep in mind that at this time of the year, they're only going to be so far away. I mean, we're going to be relatively close to shore now, whether that's 50 yards off the shore or 100 yards, but I'm kind of working inside of 30 feet from the beach line to about 30 feet. I'm just trying to figure out, at this point, I'm doing more of a north and south game to figure out are they a little bit north of the launch or a little bit south of the launch. And like Rob said, when you find that bait, they're going to be around it. They might not be in it, but I'm going to start circling around that area where the bait is lingering around at. And really pay attention to your graph too. When you come over the bait, if they're there, you can sometimes always see them feeding actively in the bait. You'll see the big marks in the bait. They're actively feeding.
When we're talking like this early, like March fishing, a lot of times in our area here, there's really not much bait. So if you do find it, you're going to find fish on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Jason said, is there a speed difference on the smaller blades? Great question, Jason. I did not notice a difference. I ran last year. I seen, like we talked about, we started running a lot faster. I was running 2.5 to 2.8.
Yeah, in the boat we were doing over 3 quite a bit. What I find is the plastics are pretty speed tolerant, so you can go slow with them, you can go fast with them. You can kind of do whatever you want. They're definitely more speed tolerant than a metal Dodger.
Yep. Let's see. Aaron asks, how are things setting up for the early season in your opinion?
Kind of hard to say, really. I mean,
it's been really cold.
We haven't been able to get out there yet. We haven't. We just know the water temperatures are cold, but we haven't seen if there's bait showing up yet or anything. So it's kind of hard to say. But all week I drove past the lake on my way here, and it looked really, really nice. And it was kind of killing me not to be out there. So, but as far as like, nothing's really setting up yet to really have an opinion on it.
Yeah. I'm looking for a couple of consistent days of like warmer temps, and if I'm able to get out there, I think that can help a lot to maybe get like a little run of something going. Let's see here. Dale asks, is there a launch kiosk at Kenosha? There's a little honesty box, so you just open it up, get the little envelope, fill out the info,
and they usually don't start charging you until the docks are in. So right now the docks aren't in yet, so they're not going to charge. It's frozen right now anyways, but once they get the docks in, then they'll start charging for launching.
Pawn said, awesome, thank you so much. I just checked out your guys' website. Definitely buying from there soon. Appreciate that, Pawn. Thank you. All right, Chris asks, can you talk about adding scents to your lures or flies for salmon and trout fishing? When do you use them and what kinds? Great question, Chris.
So for me, I use them the most when I'm fishing. Like the most important time to really use scent is when you're egg fishing or bobber fishing with a jig. When you're egg fishing, basically it's all about the scent anyways. The scent on your eggs is the most important thing. Having good quality eggs that smell right is the whole thing. That is far more important than what color the eggs are or any of that. In cold weather months like right now, if I'm fishing like some crankbaits for brown trout, sometimes I'll throw a little shrimp or krill on there. If I'm fishing jigs, there's Procure trout steelhead combo. That one's really good. Or just krill oil on the jigs. I've had good luck using that. When it comes to like flies, like dodgers and flies and spoons, I haven't really noticed that adding scent helped. I've done a few different things over years. It just never seemed to make a difference. Especially for the cohos. never made much of a difference for me personally. But yeah, cold water, brown trout, harbor fishing, that's where it seems to make a difference. Steelhead, it makes a difference. Fall salmon, whether it's the kings or the cohos in the fall when you're skein fishing, that seems to make a difference. Just not so much spoons and dodgers and flies when you're fishing out in the open lake. Yeah. There seems to be far more important triggering factors there to get them to bite.
Yeah. I wonder if it's, in the harbors, that style of fishing, they have more of a chance to like look and see and smell it versus something whipping by them really fast, more reactionary.
Yeah, and then a lot of times the harbor fish aren't as actively feeding as like lake fish. So like the fish that are out in the open lake right now are just following the schools of bait. They're trying to grow as fast as they can, eat as much as they can, and because of that, they're not quite as picky, and it seems like more visual cues are what's the trigger. Whereas the harbor fish, a lot of those harbor fish are in the harbor because they're getting ready to spawn, or they did spawn. And so it takes a little more to get them hungry, get them to want to eat. The eggs are a big thing. The scent of an egg is always a big thing. Krill and shrimp also. So they can be a little pickier at times. And it just seems like that scent is often a little more important than it is when you're open water fishing. That being said, like having the right scent isn't the most important thing, except for when you're egg fishing, of course. But it's not going to go like if you throw on the magic scent on your whatever spoon. Usually, it doesn't mean you're going to go from getting skunked to catching 20 fish, right? Like everything else has to be right too. Like you got to have the right color, whatever. All you got to figure out the other things they want, and then scent, to me at least, adds to it. It can make that day just a little bit better.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, great question. Fisher asked, has anyone ever tried tuna spawn sacks, tuna balls?
I haven't heard about that in a long time. I remember back in the day, guys hearing about it. And then the funny thing about, and I haven't tried a tuna spawn sack myself, or just a tuna sack, but going back to scent, the Procure Bloody Tuna is a really good scent.
Yeah.
Under the radar for a lot of people, they like that tuna scent. On the West Coast, tuna scent is a big deal, and here it does seem to work.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. All right. Sam said, watching you guys on the ice shack on Green Bay. Awesome, man. Good luck out there. Be safe on the ice over there. Let's see. Scott said, hello, fellas. I'm getting that itch. No, anyone know if Burnham Ramp is open? I was down at Burnham. I was downtown earlier this week, and it was still locked up. Let's see here. What size hooks do you use for peanut flies? I think, let me see here. Are these size 4s. These are size 4s. Let's see what else here. David said, saw a lot of you guys in the fall using Play-Doh in Kenosha. Oh, let's not go there. Take care. Let's not go there, guys. All right. Any other questions? Now's the time before we wrap things up here. We still got a full house of people back there. We want to be able to get off the live before they're on their first break and tend to them. If you're interested in any of the stuff that, again, real quick, that we talked about here, get it while we got it. It will go fast. And of course, you can order it online on our website. You can place an order and pick it up in store. We can ship it to you, or come by and grab it, whatever you want to do here. Yeah, any other questions? I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to be spending this coming week, weather provided, prepping all my gear. And I think now's the time to prep gear. Speaking of prepping gear, now's the time. Kind of we're getting close to it not being the time, but now's the time to get your reels in here to get them spooled up, because we're going to get flooded. So if you need to spool up stuff, now's the time. Bring it in, drop it off, and Rob will call you in a few days when it's done. The other thing I want to mention that help you is if you have a chance to strip those reels off, it helps that process. You get them to turn around a lot faster.
Yep.
If you bring in 10, 15 reels and they all still got line on them, that's something that takes a lot more longer, and then it's going to take longer for you to get your stuff back. So.
I don't remember if you mentioned this or not, but if the reels are not on the rods, that's the best. Don't bring the rods in. Keep the rods at home. Give us the reels, and if you can get the line off, because when everybody brings their rods too, it really just clutters up the whole store.
Yeah.
And they break.
Yep. So just a quick little mention on that here. Let's see here. Ben said, any suggestions on a rod to pair with a lead core setup with the new Akuma reel for a kayak. Expensive and cheap.
You know what? For the cheap side, if you go with the Akuma GLT copper lead core rod, that's a totally cool rod. Going with the rod like that, like you could put lead core on any rod, but it's nice when you're in a kayak to have those big guides to get it out easier when you're just putting it out over your shoulder. But if you're looking for something a little nicer, and like in the kayak, I like a 7-foot rod. So for like $100, you can get the 7-foot Convector Pro Series, and that's a really nice rod. We just don't have them yet. I think they're going to be here in like 3 or 4 weeks.
And the first one he mentioned is like $40, right?
Yeah, $48.
$48.
Yep.
So you have that. Let's see. Thank you guys. You're the best. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate that. Aaron asks, do you prefer to run copper or weighted steel? We tend to run copper on the boat.
We run more copper on the boat, and the reality is we probably should run some more weighted steel. It just wasn't given a fair shot on our boat.
Yeah. All right, guys. I think we're going to wrap it up here. We got people coming in and out. We're going to get to that. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully you found today's live helpful, informative, and we look forward to... Oh, man, they're bringing the buckets in here. This is great.
We should turn the camera
We should
around.
turn the camera. Look at this guy. The fly master himself, Mr. Mundos, walked into the building with a ton of bait buckets. This is like a circus act over here.
Yeah.
Also, anything else we want to mention before we close?
Again, the stubbies. Keep an eye on Facebook for that. Order them. We'll have it, online. So order them when you see them because they're going to go fast. There's a ton of them though, and I'm just really looking forward to that podcast coming out. So
Yeah, we'll get that out. We got Mr. Chrome podcast coming out this week. Then we'll have the. I think by then we'll have the gear in, so we'll release the new one with Kelly from Gold Star Silver Horse. So
Yep.
That's it, guys. Thank you guys for watching and joining us for today. Best of luck out there if you go fishing. Hit the shoreline, hit the pier heads, man, in the shore. Go after them, and we'll talk to you guys next week. Take care.